Hello, hello, hello. I'm Guillaume Black. I'm the co-founder and CEO at Property Filter. We help and empower property investors excel at finding deals. We are welcoming hundreds of new members every week. So these are property investors, deal sourcers, whether they are starting out and getting educated or indeed much more experience. And we realize that most investors out there lack clarity. They don't really know, they are not sure what strategy to do, where to invest. And we have people coming to us saying that they want to do a rent-to-rent and commercial to resi, so it doesn't quite make sense to me, And you get what you focus on, so really you want to focus on this one thing and be very good at it. So today I will share with you 3 frameworks that will help you get absolute clarity on what is it that you want from property and how to, therefore you'll be focused on this one thing and achieve a lot more results. Okay, so let's move to the pad and the first thing. So it's something I learned from a good friend of mine, Dan Hill, which is quite a game changer, and that's his concept of the wealth hierarchy. So you can't skip the gears, and it's this flip my word upside down when I understood this, and it's really important. So you can do anything, but the truth is you can exhaust yourself in strategies that you can't scale, or you can run yourself broke, out of cash, because you are just waiting for this big capital event, this big flip to come through, this big development project to be sold. And there's 3 stages, three levels, and the first one is cash flow. And the idea here is that you don't want to get into development projects, and it doesn't matter how sexy they are, it doesn't matter how capable you are to have them go through the line. It's quite attractive to expect this $500,000 big capital event, but if you can't pay your bills, if you can't pay your architects, if you can't pay your kids' tuition, it's a non-starter. You're gonna run out of cash. So the first step is cash flow, and this by this we mean covering your expenses and your lifestyle to a point where you want to stop, because there's nothing more exhausting than trying to scale a cash flow business. So if we think of strategies, so let me have a look. If we think of strategy, so this would be like your rent-to-rent and things like that. We can have HMOs, we can have your SAs. So this can be really noisy. You want to bring them to a point where you reach this commercial balance, and then you want to move to the profit play, which is where the easier money is made. And this is the second stage. So profit, and here by profit we mean things that are not guaranteed, not recurring, like rent. These are like bonuses and things like that. So in terms of strategy, these will be your sourcing fees. Sourcing, it would be your assisted sales, and your flips, of course, and your development. And then on the top, so the aim of the game, so why we are all in property, for this dream of the financial independence, is the asset. It is really where things become passive, where property becomes really passive. So if we take a bit of a step back here on these, and if we think, okay, so to help understand, so the cash flow will be what we can refer to as a salary in a day job, or profit will be our bonus, and then the assets on the top is going to be our pension, so something secure, and then let's go to long-term sort of outcome with it. There's so many sort of layers we can add to this reading, so I will start really with the cash flow. So it's a bit counterintuitive that I see a lot of people going into rent-to-rent as a starter strategy, but really it's the most advanced strategy. If you think it carries quite a bit of risk, and the skills you need to make it work are quite different to the rest, because the reality is that at the rent-to-rent kind of stage here, what you are doing is effectively running a business, and people try to get out of their day job into property and straight into like rent-to-rent and things like that. And the truth is you need a very different set of skill from the day job to running a business. And I'll come back to this in a second, because the next stage with your profit is when you move into trading and brokering. And then the last stage at the asset is really where it's an investment. So it's passive and it works for you while you sleep, etc. So we all go into property for this stage, to reach the asset stage here where the investment works for us. But the thing is, we have to start with the cash flow bit. So either you've got a really good job and you can skip, the cash flow bit because it's covered by your day job, and then, good for you. That's probably the best and easiest solution. And you can move straight into the profit, generating cash with development projects, sourcing, brokering things, like assisted sale or sourcing are great profit plays. And then ultimately you want to buy your boring assets, your blocks of flats, leased to charities, housing associations, and things like that, with full repair leases and things like that. Low return, low margins, low risk, but say secure. It's where people get confused. They go into rent to rent thinking, oh, I'm 2 properties away from being at the beach. But the reality is the skill one needs at this stage, at the sort of rent to rent stage, is very different. So if I take a bit of a step back on what people need to know there, it's all the entrepreneurial skills. So you've got your business management, skill. You need on this slab here. So if I reproduce the slab, then you need skills in marketing. You need skills in sales. You need skills in operations, and then finally in finance. So these are all like business skills you might not have when you start out. And for me, it's a bit counterintuitive. People get into property for the passive income, but they have to start by a very entrepreneurial kind of stage that might, it's where people make mistakes. So it's where you need to think about your lead generation. It's where you need to think about like your different marketing channels. What's going to be your route to market, your partnerships, etc. I'm going to change color for your the next one here. In sales, so this is going to be your you need a pipeline of deals. You need a process to convert all these deals. Then as you move into operations, so this is all going to be based on systems, process, and the people who run it. And again, you are starting and running a business here, so the numbers needs to work. Don't get into something if the business is not going to make money in the first place. So this is where you want to nail your business model. What are your costs and your commercial balance. What are going to be your cost of acquisition, your budgets, your cost per lead, all these things. So cost per acquisition, etc. All these things get into the process here. So I'm showing you this to say, okay, there's 2 ideas here. The first one is the idea of the wealth hierarchy we have on the top here, and the second one is really that you will need some business skills to run a business. So people tend to jump out of their day job too easily, too quickly, maybe to get into some cash flow strategies. But then the skills you need are quite specific. So the 2 ideas here is going to be: don't skip the gears. Start with sorting out your cash flow. This being with a day job or with a property strategy you understand and can do well with business skills. And then equally, you're gonna drown and run out of breath if you try to scale this cash flow business, because they are so noisy. So you want to know when you stop, reach your commercial balance, then move into your profit play, and this is where you make the easier money. So a lot less of your time will be spent on a flip than it will be on running a portfolio of HMO, basically, and you'll make a lot more money for it. And then all this money you invest then into the assets on the top, the boring and passive ones we all want in property. So another thing around this wealth hierarchy is the idea of where do we invest? So I get people come to us to say, oh, I'm in London and I want to do rent to rent in the northeast, and say, okay, how is that going to work? Because if you take so I'm going to do like an horrible map of the UK. There you go, something like that. When you run a business, you want things close by and close together. So really direct vicinity or where you are. It's why estate agents have got multiple branches that cover a limited sector. and you don't expect to run a rent-to-rent business remotely. Like it works because you'll be hands-on and nearby. And the next stage is going to be your profit play that you can do regionally, and then this is why you hear people do like development projects only within the M25, so they understand it. This is you can go a bit further. Your time is a lot more leveraged, and it works. And then finally, your passive income on the other side. So the asset bit. So this you can do. This you can do nationally, basically. So the idea here is so if I come back to these, is that you can do your cash flow business locally. Your profits, you can do them regionally, and then your assets, you want to do them nationally. Don't look for the best next growth area if you are not already at the asset stage yet, because if you want to generate cash flow, you want them close by and close together. So, okay, second framework I wanted to share with you. It's something I got from Roger Hamilton, and it's quite widely used in the UK with a few of the property educators as well, but more broadly in entrepreneurship and entrepreneurial education. And it's this concept of flow. So wealth dynamics is a personality test for entrepreneurs. And the idea here is that we all have our strengths and weaknesses, and there's different energies, and we all want to focus on what we're good at. So the way Roger puts it is, if you judge the ability, if you judge a fish by his ability of climbing a tree, he will spend his whole life thinking he's stupid. And the idea here is that we all have strengths and weaknesses, and we want to focus on our strengths and then surround ourselves with people who complete us, basically. So the first quadrant on the top here is the dynamo quadrant, and this is where the creatine lives. And the idea here is that people are heads in the cloud, first mover advantage. They visualize and can imagine the next thing. It's very creative. But again, there's two sides. There's always two sides of the same coin. So this is where they don't get things done. They never finish what they start. They're really good at starting, but they're not very good at finishing things. The next one is Blaze, and this is the people person. So these are people who connect with people. They want to do deals. They get energized by being surrounded by new people, networking, and things like that. And these will shine on the work that the Dynamo have created. And they will connect, they will connect all these other people, stakeholders. They are your very good salespeople, etc. Under that, you've got your tempo. So these are the more sensory, kinesthetic people. They will feel that something is not quite right. They're your best project manager. They're a lot more sensory and in the now, in the timing of things. So very good intuitions and things like that. But again, very good at executing a plan, but not very good at putting the plan together. And then finally, on the left here, you've got the steel. So these are the systems people. So these are the systems people. Really all about the details, the spreadsheets, and they'll do your due diligence, and they love the spreadsheets and things like that. And so it's these have been a game changer for us. So the way I've structured all my businesses is we've got people of different complementary skills doing different things. So it's really about understanding where you are and who can join the team. So if you're a Dynamo, so creative, heads in the cloud, and so on, or if you're a Blaze. So it's understanding your strengths and your weaknesses, basically. But the first step is really understanding where you sit. And then there's a whole lot of a level to this. So this is with the 4 quadrants, but then you can look at you've got like 8 different profiles across this. So there's a test. I'll put the link a link in the description. You can go and see his website. And it's really great because you understand what is it, and then you want to work in flow. So in property, you probably like you'll be more people oriented or more analytic. So you want to know what you want to do and really just focus on what you want to do, and leave the rest to someone in your team or someone you want to JV with probably. And finally, so I'll do a quick one. This is about strategy and resources. So you might have access to different resources based on your situation. So you might have lots of time. So this is an ugly clock. No, I will write it here. You might have lots of time and not a lot of finance, or lots of finance, but there's quite a few things you can do based on that. So different strategies will come to you basically. So with little finance and little time, you're probably limited with only the buy to let, which is like the most passive strategy that you can afford to get in. But then there's not a lot you can do if you don't have a lot of time. With more time but limited finance, you can move into other strategies. So again, sourcing is a great one. Rent to rent is another one, and then another vehicle, so PLO. So you can use those lease options, to control the properties in any strategy at any sort of stage, if you like. At any stage, if you like, of your wealth hierarchy here. So the lease option is something you can do everywhere. It's just a different way of controlling properties. And then if you've got a lot of time on your hands and money, you can move into flips. You can look at development projects. You can look at HMOs, all these things like that. And then if you've got a lot of money but no time, or a lot of money, if you've got access to more finance and no time, or you don't want to put the time in anymore, so you can look at the commercial properties, and you can look at JV funding. So you can be the partner of a good deal somewhere, so where you just put the money in. So these are three sort of framework I want to share with you. And I added the complexity of these business skills you probably want on the first one here. But the idea is that it's counterintuitive. People get into property for the passive income, but we have to start by business. And a lot of the time, you're probably better off going straight into profit or sourcing, at the stage 2 here, if you like, of the the profit stage, and keep your day job for a while. And it might be that you go a lot faster than if you create a rent-to-rent business from scratch. Another thing, a bit of a bonus, whilst I'm here, and I didn't think about this, but we can add this, is market positioning and market cycle. So over time, any industry will see a trend or a market create itself, but then becomes saturated and disappears. So it's a lot. If you think of 5 years ago, like it was probably the good time to get into rent. Nobody was doing it. It was quite niche, quite profitable. Now I think we are quite past that stage now. So where is it that what strategy you are doing? Where is it on the market cycle? Are you crest of the wave at the beginning, where you've got a high risk but really high reward? Or is your market saturated and the margins are compressing and there's really no way? Are you digging digging a well, trying to find water in the desert, or are you somewhere where there's plenty of water everywhere? So think of your market, think of what you do, and especially rent to SA. I don't want to discourage you to do these because they might work, but there's legislation coming in, oversupply. There's quite a lot of things that tells me personally I wouldn't get into these right now. So this is for your type of tenants, so and things like that. So think back, especially for all your cash flow strategies. Think back to all of these aspects here. So what problem are you solving? Who do you serve? What is your ideal customer? You want to be anything, you want to be everything to one person and not anything to anyone. Then you start competing on price, and you'll see it will be really hard. So yeah, look at this. And again, thanks for watching until now. I didn't realize it'd be that long. The reason I was sharing this is, again, we get a lot of people coming to us to find deals on Property Filter, but they don't really know what they are looking for. And I found myself having to explain this a couple of times. So after I record a video and put it up here, so you can hopefully it helps you. And then once you know what you're looking for, you can come and see us on Property Filter, and we'll help you. You'll access the system, and you'll start to excel at finding deals as well. So I hope you enjoyed those little frameworks, that they bring you lots of clarity, so that you know exactly what you're looking for, that you become inch wide and a mile deep, and really hammer the hell out of your investment area. Be the one person, the one go-to investor in your area. And once you got clarity, the things you can do. So I will share my screen on Property Filter, so you can set up your lead generators. They work for every strategy, so different areas, and there's all sorts of templates here. And yeah, you'll find all the properties you need. Everything here is on Property Filter. So I encourage you to click on the link below in the description. There'll be a link to go and check out our demo, and you'll see this in more details. And then from there, you know, like if it's for you, jump on a free 2 weeks free trial on us, and then we'll take care of the rest. Speak with you soon, and looking forward to speaking to you once you've signed up. Speak soon.